So many people want to be a content creator now, and I'm going to tell you how to gain a following fast and how to make yourself different from the rest. Hi loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know, my name is Bryce and I am so excited to make this video. I made a video about how to grow a following on social media, I believe 2 years ago, and it did so well. And so much has changed since I last made that video. So I'm just trying to put you guys on to what is current and how you can become a successful content creator in 2024. A little bit about me. I started taking content in 2020 during the pandemic. And the reason why I started taking content was because I originally wanted to start a brand for myself, and I knew that if I gained a following, it would just be beneficial in general. So I started gaining a following. I was posting on TikTok twice a day. And at this time, since I was a dancer, I had to commute to school in New York. So I only had time to create content on the weekends, but I would make sure to hit my 14 video mark every Sunday. And I was just being super consistent. I gained over 200,000 followers on TikTok. I have over 80,000 followers on Instagram. And I'm in the process of trying to gain my subscriber count on YouTube. And yeah, I had a video on YouTube that got over 200,000 views. So, you know, I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Also, outside of content, I also was a marketing associate for a nonprofit organization, and I've done a lot of research on just marketing in general, the marketing funnel, things that brands are aware of in order to get people to convert from the awareness stage to the loyalty stage. So I know what I'm talking about, guys, when I'm making these videos, and I'm gonna start incorporating all that stuff within it, as well as stuff that you need to know with like little stuff like video quality, things that you need to incorporate, things you should say in your video. Like, I'm gonna incorporate all that stuff. And also, my hair looks great today. My hair looks so good today. Sorry, I had to throw that in. So yeah, so I'm really excited to talk about all this stuff. So let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is consistency and how much you should post. Like I always say in all of my videos, consistency is literally the secret formula to how to become a successful content creator and how to gain a following. It's not like back in the day when you could just get a viral video and you get 100,000 followers. People are more selective and picky with who they follow. And if they like your content that did go viral, they need to see that you are keeping up with that. Consistency is also very important because when you're not consistent, sometimes your content can stay on the same level. And as someone that's following you, I want to see you progress. I want to see you get better. I want to see you try new things. I don't want to see the same old, you know? It's literally like I gave this example in my last video. It's like a series. If you have a series come on and you post one episode and then the second episode doesn't get posted 3 months later, I'm tuning out. I'm not watching it. I do that for a reason. Game of Thrones, obviously, like, I'm giving this example just as like an example, but obviously, say for instance, Game of Thrones, you watched it every week. You're like, what's next? What's next? That's the feeling that you want to give your followers. That's what being consistent is. Because a lot of times when you become consistent and then your followers become aware of you, it's kind of like, oh, why did she post today? I'm so used to seeing her. That's like my bestie online, and yet I haven't seen anything. So that's why consistency is so important. Consistency is literally the key. You hear it all the time from influencers, content creators that are very successful. They always say when they started being consistent, that's when they saw a drastic change in their following. That's when I saw a drastic change in a following. I literally decided one day, I said, I don't care if people are judging me because I'm trying to become a content creator at this point. And I was fine with that. And after I got that out of my head, that's when I started gaining a following. And the thing about that is once you start gaining a following, that's when people start focusing on you. And they're like, oh, it did work out for her. Yeah, because I was consistent. You know, so keep that in mind. People will also be like, like I know a lot of people, they don't want to feel judged, or they don't want people looking at them like, oh, like she's trying to be a content creator, or she's trying to follow her little dream. And it's like, no, forget about them. Keep pushing it. Eventually, something's gonna pop off if you're doing it the correct way. And then when it does, people are gonna be looking at you like, Man, maybe I should have been consistent when she did. I'm gonna talk about how much I think you should post on each platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Instagram, I would suggest that you post 3 times a week. I say 3 times a week because I think you should give time for people to miss you. Sometimes when you post every single day, it becomes too much. I even get annoyed sometimes when people are posting every single day. So I think 3 times a week is enough, and it's enough for your video to get at least a little bit of exposure, so that if it does blow up, it's like, okay, now people are still getting used to me, being able to see me. On TikTok, I would recommend that you post twice a day, or if you can't do twice a day, at least once a day. And the reason why I'm not saying to post 5-6 times a day is because I think if we're being realistic, if you have a 9-to-5 job, that's not realistic. Can you do it? Absolutely, if you put your mind to it. But I don't think that's needed. When I started, I didn't need to post 5-6 times a day. The thing that's important is what type of videos are you posting? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is what type of content you should make / what is your niche going to be. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up in this specific video in 2024 is because a lot of people don't just want to be content creators because it's their passion. I feel like a lot of people want to gain a following on social media because of the money, because of how much money they know they can make with brand deals and the brand trips going on and all this stuff and being poppin', you know? I feel like that is why a lot of people want to become content creators. Not all, but I do think content creation is hyped up right now. And I do think a lot of people are doing it more because of that instead of just a passion. Understandable. Society is hard right now. But the reason why I am bringing up you should figure out what type of content you want to make is because not all niches will make you the money like you want it. And I'm going to tell you the ones that will, and the ones where it might be a little bit harder. If you're trying to be a fashion content creator, it might be harder for you to make money off of that. Can you? Yes. I have gotten brand deals with fashion companies. I've gotten contracts with fashion companies. Doesn't mean it's possible. It is harder though. Now, if you want to go more into lifestyle or more into makeup, beauty, you're going to be set. Which is why I think when you're making content, you should have a niche, but don't niche yourself in too much. And what I mean by that is be a lifestyle and beauty content creator. With lifestyle, you can do so much. You can cook, you can clean, you can do get ready with me's, you can do, like my mom just had a bridal brunch, you can show everything that you incorporated within your bridal brunch. There's so much you can do with lifestyle. Don't niche yourself in, because I made that mistake once and it was just like pose videos, that's it. Like sometimes brand can be like, oh, okay, like maybe we can figure that out, but there's only so much you can do with someone that does pose videos. And that's why now I'm incorporating more lifestyle. I'm doing makeup, like niche yourself in. So it's like, okay, like she likes beauty, she likes this, she likes that, but don't niche yourself too into where it's like, okay, all she posts about is get ready with me's and she doesn't go anywhere. And she's wearing fits that anybody can wear. You know, you need to be specific about the content you're making, because that is what's gonna make you different from everyone else. And to anyone that's like, oh, like you shouldn't have a niche at all, I feel like when you go to someone's page, and it's important for a page to be very clear, which I'll go into a little bit later. When you usually go to someone's page, you usually can notice some type of theme. It doesn't have to be a very specific theme, but it's usually something that's like, their content's very inspiring, but it covers a lot of topics. The best thing you can do, which my next thing is going to be build a community, but the best thing you can do is allow your brand, instead of it just being a niche, allow your brand to be yourself. That's what all these big content creators and influencers are doing right now. They're talking in their video and you feel like you're on FaceTime with them. And then it's like, oh, like that's my girl, I'm gonna watch her. And you're like, okay, yeah, you know, so like, keep that in mind too. You want your brand to be you. So I feel like that's what people mean when they're like, oh, don't niche yourself in. But sometimes it is good to have some type of niche. It could be very broad, but have something, you know? Something. Because sometimes when it's just about your personality and your community is not used to seeing you do makeup and stuff, sometimes it's like they don't even pay attention to that, and then you're not really marketable because that's what brands want. Sometimes you have to have personality, the brand being you, as well as having at least something that people are used to seeing you do, or something around those lines. So next thing we're going to talk about is building a community. Building a community is important because not only will you be growing a following, but you will be growing a loyal following. A lot of people now, they will follow you because you had a video go viral, and then if none of your other videos go viral and they don't like what you're posting, unfollow. My YouTubers know though. YouTubers, subscribers are loyal. You gain a following on YouTube, they will follow you on TikTok, Instagram. I feel like YouTuber followers / subscribers, or whatever you want to call it, they're loyal. And I feel like that's why a lot of content creators appreciate YouTube so much, because we know that y'all are real ones. Y'all are really real ones. The thing I wanted to talk about with building a community in 2024 is you need to talk in your videos. You have to talk in your videos, and if you don't talk in your videos, you at least need to do voiceovers. One thing I'm realizing now is at a certain point, when you gain a following, it gets to the point where you're like, okay, I'm gaining a following, but I want to get to the point where I'm going on brand trips. I want to be connected with brands that will want to work with me. I want to be connected with people that can get me to the next level, which is influencer agencies. A lot of requirements that influencer agencies have once you gain a following is you need to talk in your videos. And I'm now realizing that, and I'm like, if I can talk on YouTube, I can talk in my videos, but a lot of people on my other platforms probably don't even know what my voice is. They have no clue what my personality is like. And I'm realizing that it's so important to talk in your videos. That allows the brand to be you. In very, very small circumstances, you don't have to talk, but nowadays, if you don't have a following, you should talk in your videos. That will help you build community. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is when you are creating content, your content either needs to help, entertain, or inspire. Now, if you can do all three, amazing. But at least have one of those three, especially when you're just starting and you're trying to gain a following. People don't know who you are. They're not going to care what you do. So if you can benefit them in some way, that's how you get them to stick for a little bit. And then they'll get used to you. They'll become more aware of you. And then it'll get to the point where you can convert them into being a loyal subscriber, follower, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so it's important to have at least one of those things when you're creating videos, because if we're being honest, nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares who you are right now, but they will. Sometimes if you're trying to grow a following fast, you need to be benefiting them. How-tos always do good. How to do this, how to do that. This is how you glow up. Everybody wants to know, not everybody, but a lot of people want to know that. How to get your dream body, how I lost weight, how I gained weight. These are stuff that people are searching, so regardless if they know who you are or not, they're going to be looking it up, and people are going to be intrigued. Even if you don't know what you're talking about, because you said how to do something, they're going to be curious. You watch how I grew my hair 10 inches in 1 year. People are gonna be like, oh, what'd she do? And you gave the most basic things that everyone knows. People are still gonna watch it. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, like, I forgot about that, follow, So make sure you're doing stuff like that. If you're trying to gain a following fast, you need to be making more videos like that. You need to be planning your content, and you need to be specific with what you're putting out. Put a lot of how-to videos out. And if you don't want to put a lot of how-to videos out and you want to go more towards entertaining, one thing is you should be authentically yourself, but a lot of times you do need to do something a little bit more of the extreme. Like, your personality needs to be on 10 when you're posting. Or the story time that you're saying needs to be crazy. That's what people like nowadays. You can't just be like, oh, like, let me tell you about my day. Nobody cares. But you tell me about a situation where someone did you dirty and you went to a hairstylist and then you're coming back in the car and your hair looks crazy, people are going to tune in. It is what it is, unless you're lucky. That's what people want now. People want to be fully entertained like these reality TV shows. These reality TV shows are scripted. So when you're entertaining, it doesn't always have to be scripted, but sometimes you gotta fall along within a certain script that you feel comfortable with. Last thing is inspiring. This one is a little for me now, just because I think so many people are acting like they have this specific lifestyle that they might not, or they're trying to upkeep with this specific lifestyle that maybe financially they really don't fit within. So it's very easy to act like you have something when you don't. So I feel like a lot of people can see through that and they're just like, whatever, you know? But I do feel like if you are a content creator and you're showing your journey and people see your growth, that is a way that you can aspire. That's an amazing way that you can inspire, and for people to have loyalty with you, because now you are motivation to them. Okay, so now we're gonna go into rapid fire. I have a list of a whole bunch of things that I'm gonna tell you really quickly, of things that you should incorporate within your content so that you can gain a following fast and that you can be different from what everybody else is trying to do. Number one is covers. Your covers on your TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram need to be aesthetically pleasing, and if they aren't aesthetically pleasing, you at least need to let us know what the video is going to be about based off of just looking at the cover. Next thing is you need your videos to be clear, which means you might have to invest in a good quality phone. Nowadays, like I said in the beginning of this video, so many people want to be content creators and a lot of people want to gain a following. If you want to do that, you have to have a good quality phone. It doesn't matter how good your video is, how good the idea is, how well you are speaking about a specific topic. If I can't see you clearly, a lot of times I will swipe, and I do think the algorithm will not push out your video because the quality is not good. I also said this before, how-to videos do very well. How to glow up. So when you're creating videos, keep stuff like that in mind. How to or also advice videos do well as well. Things I wish I knew in my 20s. Relationship advice I wish I knew before getting into a healthy relationship. Things like that do very well, so keep that stuff in mind. Stuff that you would hear and you would click on regardless of who was speaking. One thing I realize now in 2024 is if you're a content creator, you need to get good at editing. Brands want to work with content creators that have a skill set. So many people are creating content, and like back in 2020, you could just create like a cute little makeup video and that's it. Now it needs something more. Everyone's doing that. So you should take the time, use CapCut, which is a great app that you can use to edit, and get better at editing. You can go on TikTok, look up how to do cool edits. There's specific people you can follow that will show you all the tutorials. When you get good at editing, more people that have no clue who you are, when your video pops up, they're gonna literally comment and be like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? Blah, blah this, blah, blah that. So get good at editing. It's going to be beneficial to you in the long run. Another thing is you need to get good with storytelling. One thing that's very popular now is vlogs, day in my lives. And within the first 5 seconds, you need to capture someone's attention. And by doing that is with good storytelling. You need, that intro needs to be on it to the point where I'm like, oh, let me tune in. I want to see this. People get bored so fast now because they're constantly scrolling on TikTok and seeing a video. Within the first 5 seconds, they're judging it, and if they don't like it, they're gonna swipe. So you need to get good with storytelling. If you're creating vlog videos and you're not talking, or even if you are talking, your clips need to be short, to the point where they're like maybe 3-4 seconds long. Because like I said just before, people get tired of seeing the same stuff. Their attention span is very small, and we don't wanna keep seeing the same clip for 10 seconds. You need to keep going. So sometimes when you're doing vlogs, 3 seconds here, 3 seconds there. Then I'm showing me getting out the driveway, and then I show my face, then I go to something else. Like, that is gonna keep people's attention a little bit longer. So instead of them staying for 3 seconds, they're at least staying for 20 seconds. When you're creating content and you're posting it, tag the brand you're working with. A lot of times people are like, oh, like I'm not gonna tag them because I eventually wanna work with them for a brand deal. No, don't do that. It's okay, they'll eventually come to you. That brand needs to become aware that you are even a content creator, because sometimes they don't, since so many people make content. So what I would do, and what I'm actually start doing now, even though I do get paid sponsorships, is when I make a video now, I tag, oh, this is the company that I use the eyeliner for. This is the company I use YSL for the lipstick. Tag the companies, because people not only look at it as, is this a campaign post? But it's also like, oh wow, like they make great quality content, and also they're not gatekeeping on where they're getting this stuff. A lot of people don't like that you gatekeep, so that's beneficial, especially if you're like a beauty influencer or lifestyle, like you're putting people on and people appreciate that. The tip to remember, you don't always have to try to convince your followers that they should follow you. You should follow me because no. Remember that you are the content creator, so create content. You're already the content creator, just create it. You don't have to convince people to follow you. If they're gonna watch their video, they're gonna watch the video because they want it to. So just remember that from day one, you're a content creator. You might be a smaller content creator, but that's okay. Everyone starts from square one and eventually gets to the top when they're being consistent, they're following their passions, and they're not taking no as an answer. But yeah, guys, so that was my video. I hope you guys found it really helpful. Guys, I took this video in January, and when I was looking back at it, there was like feedback, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to take this video again. But that's okay, because I wanna help you guys, and I really do think that these tips will help you grow a following fast, and not just gain a following, but gain a loyal following. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any topics that you want me to cover of being a content creator, influencer, how to be more marketable to brands and stuff, please comment in the description below. And I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.